What's going on, good people? It's Rich here, back for another special edition of the Culture Garden podcast. Not just a normal episode. We are back with the best episode ever series. I'm excited to get this going. Before we get started, I do want to let everybody know I am joined by two special guests, two people, two brothers that I couldn't have this conversation without. First and foremost, got to give it up to my dog, my brother Spike Lou. Spike Lou's in the building. What's going on, good brother?
What's going on, my brother? I'm happy to be here on Culture Garden, talking good TV. Glad you had me.
Absolutely, man. Got you booked for the next eight to 10 weeks or so, man. So
Yeah,
we
man.
we cooking, man. And not just Spike Lou, but also my dog, my brother, a nigga who knows where some of the bodies are, man. My brother Chaz, Bug, Tal. You might hear me reference him to all three names throughout this course, but we got Chaz here. He was on our Shaft episode. If you remember that, I think that was 2022, whenever it was, but you can go check it in the archives. Chaz, what's good with you, man?
Man, I'm just happy to be here, man. I'm blessed, and I'm glad that I could be here and break bread with you two fellas.
No doubt, man. I'm excited for this. So, first and foremost, thank you to everybody out there for listening, for watching, tuning in. We appreciate y'all. Can't do any of this without you. If you are listening, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, please keep in mind there is a YouTube page as well. If you're on YouTube and you want to listen on the go, can't watch, you can also download it at all those sites I just said. We got y'all. We got y'all the television podcast. There's also an extension. I co-host that with Rachel. Everybody knows Rachel. Shout out to Ray P. We are currently discussing House of the Dragon. Yeah, man. Y'all know Ray P. We're currently discussing House of the Dragon season 2. Even though we got a green nigga here with us today, it's still all love.
Throw the sets up, man.
It was a rough episode for Team Black last week, but we covered it on We Got Y'all. I think we all were in agreement. I didn't ask you, Chaz, but me and Spike talked about it before. Probably the best episode of the series so far between seasons 1 and 2.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so. So we covered that. So check that out. Please subscribe to that feed. The information is going to be in the link tree. Spike is a part of a bunch of different podcasts, including Good Earners, reviewing the Sopranos, which we cover as well. I'll put all his information in the episode description as well. But we are going to be having Entourage content for the next, like I said, 9 to 10 weeks. I know everybody who was used to the regular schedule of the Culture Garden, we will drop some movies in between there. But Thursdays are going to be reserved for Entourage, the best episode ever series. If you remember, School and myself did a best episode ever series on Martin. I want to talk about the concept of what it is. Before I do, please remember to like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. Also, there will be spoilers and explicit content. I don't know if we really need to give spoiler alerts on a show that came out 20 years ago, but just in case you don't want to hear much about what's going on without seeing the show, there will be spoilers. So yeah, best episode ever. The concept is pretty simple. A lot of people like to make lists. They like to say, hey, what's the top 25 episodes of this show? What's the top 25 songs of this artist? Whatever the case may be, we decided to take a different approach. Obviously, you can't be the best episode of something if you're not the best episode of the season. So what we're going to be doing in a way so we can discuss the season and some of the standout episodes without having to go through all 96 that Entourage provided us, we're going to be going week by week through each season of Entourage, and then we're going to have a finale episode where we take all of our number one ranked episodes and we go ahead and pick the winner or the best episode of the series. So Chaz is going to have a list. Spike is going to have a list. I'm going to have a list. We're going to have some honorable mentions. We'll talk about favorite quotes, some characters. With this being the first episode, you know I got a few questions from my brothers, but that's pretty much the concept. If you're not familiar, you will follow along. Just stick with us. Real quick, before we get started. So we did Martin already. Entourage is our second installment. If y'all were to do your own best episode ever series, what's TV series would you want to talk about? I'm just curious. And the whole purpose is this, and I guess this might give a little bit more concept. So I mentioned Spike, myself, and shout out to our good brother Mo. We do an episodic review of The Sopranos. We're doing episode by episode, scene by scene, all 86, right? Not every show needs a discussion on every single episode. So there's Elite TV where you can do that. Sopranos, The Wire, Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, stuff like that. And there's also shows like Martin, which we love, but we were like, man, we're not going to sit here and talk about a 30-minute sitcom every single episode, every single moment. So that's kind of another reason why, like I said, you can talk about the totality of the show and also the standout episodes. So taking that into mind, are there any shows that y'all think about like, man, I would really want to talk about that? I know one offhand, Chaz, that me and you talk about. I've talked about it with Spike as well. I'm going to go ahead and just say it. Friday Night Lights. I'm all in for best episode ever, Friday Night Lights.
I'm completely there with you. That was exactly what I was going to go to. That was going to be my so I'm in complete agreement with you. Like if I had to pick one, that would be it.
Yes, I would be 100% with. That's one of my favorite shows. The default one, of course, we can just get this out of the way. If people screaming at The Wire, of course, I'm rewatching that right now. I just finished season 4.
That's gonna get us episodic breakdown and the whole best
both. That deserves both.
Same way we're gonna do a best episode. We're gonna do a best episode ever of Sopranos once we finish. Like, we got to do something like that.
You know what I would say is Lost.
I knew you was gonna say Lost. I knew you was gonna say Lost.
It got those 22 episode seasons, so you ain't got to do every one of them. But yeah, Lost would definitely be one for me as far as that. That would be it.
You want to hear something crazy?
What's that?
I couldn't get into it.
How long did you? How many episodes?
How long did you try?
I think I gave it the 3, and then I went
episode 3.
I gave it 3, and then I don't know. I just never went back to it. I don't know if it was I think at the time my brother T was saying, "Hey man, you got to watch Rescue Me," and I think that's what he kept harping on Rescue Me, and then I never went back. So yeah,
I think if you binge it now, you would. The thing about Lost though, it's so long. Pause. It's like 22 episodes per season, and we talk about 8 seasons.
Yeah, so that's the thing with that era of network TV. Like, you was getting your 27 episodes straight up.
Facts.
Getting these 27, you banging through them the whole 9. So yeah, we'll have some ideas. We'll definitely have some things that we talk about on best episode ever. I know I'm talking Rachel into doing an Insecure best episode ever. We'll probably do that on We Got Y'all or something.
That's a good.
Yeah, there's a lot of shows that we can talk about. If you out there listening, you have any ideas, just shoot them our way. Let us know. Email is going to be in the episode link in the link tree. But back to Entourage. The reason we decided to do this now and the day that this episode releases is actually the 20th anniversary of the premiere episode of Entourage, which sounds crazy. 20 years ago was the first episode, July 18th, 2004. Show was created by Doug Ellen. He wrote a lot of the episodes as well. Mark Wahlberg and Steven Levinson are executive producers. I think everybody knows at this point this show was a brainchild of Mark Wahlberg, was supposed to be a spinoff of his life, or kind of a soft satire version of his life. It originally was supposed to be a lot darker if you know anything about Mark Wahlberg and his past, but HBO was like, let's get something a little bit more lighter. Remember, they don't have sitcoms. They call them 30-minute comedies. So it fell into that range. And then we ended up having the show as we know it. The show stars Adrian Grenier as Vince, Kevin Connolly as E, Kevin Dillon as Johnny Drama, Jerry Ferrara as Turtle, and Jeremy Piven as Ari Gold. Those are your principal characters. Spike Lou, let me ask you first. Do you remember being introduced to Entourage? What does Entourage mean to you? The whole 9.
So I was thinking back.
What has you excited about discussing this?
I was thinking back as you were saying it. I was like 20 years ago. That's 04. I know I ain't have HBO or wasn't inside watching TV. And that was prime outside of my life. So I know I didn't watch this the first year that it came out. And then as you said, it was 20 years. I'm thinking, if I remember correctly, it was like DVD Man pull up to the barbershop days. Oh, I got this Entourage series, and I may have heard it in passing before. So I think maybe a couple of years after the premiere, I may have got them burnt DVDs from the DVD Man, and that's how I got introduced to it. I'm about 80% sure that's how it happened.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right. Bug, what about you?
I didn't get hip till season 3.
Okay.
So I got hip at season 3 and then backdated everything. I want to say, because I was trying to think like, and when did I really start getting into this? And I remembered I didn't get into this until my brother Barks, came home with the Weeds. Came home with the Weeds DVDs, and he had Entourage too. So then that's when I started. All right, we'll go ahead and backdate everything. And you know, sometimes you get hip to shows in the second or third season, and just you be like, you know what, I fucks with this shit, and you just go from there. And that's what happened with me.
That's crazy that you say that. I 100% was watching this and Weeds at the same time. Because I was 100% watching both of these at the same time. I got introduced to them at the same time. Like I said, just buying seasons of DVDs from the DVD man.
And that's another show, by the way.
That's another one. I was gonna say that is a good one. Weeds.
Yeah.
I stopped watching Weeds after they got rid of U-Turn.
I understand.
Really?
I understand.
What season was that?
Once I got it, and the way he was like, all right, man, I don't even want to talk about it.
It got bad, but it was still worth watching though.
It was still solid.
It was definitely worth watching.
I didn't finish it. Yeah, I didn't finish it, man. It's that shit. Once they got U-Turn, especially the way it happened in the woods, and I'm like, all right, man, I gotta go.
It's two more.
Now that y'all say that, I just thought of 2 more shows that I would love to do a best episode ever on: Atlanta and the Boondocks. I was definitely
both of them.
I'm thought of one.
Hey, you already know my favorite episode of the Boondocks.
Yeah, man.
I thought of when we went back. Weeds made me think of it because the ending was just as bad as Weeds as Prison Break. Prison Break was my shit. I don't know if y'all familiar with that Prison Break.
That first season, the first couple seasons of Prison Break.
The first 2 was.
I think I only watched like the first 2 seasons and I stopped.
Yeah, you did yourself a favor. After season 3, it got ridiculous. Like really ridiculous.
That's just the worst, man. That's just the worst.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and answer the question as far as Entourage. So it's funny because Chaz was a part of my first Entourage experience. So I want to give credit to my brother Pierre. I've mentioned him a few times. So on my birthday, this had to be, man, this had to be either my 23rd or 24th birthday. Because me and Chaz were living in the same crib.
Yeah.
I remember he got me season 1 of Entourage. Speaking of which, this actual copy. Pierre got me this for my birthday because he knows how much I love TV. He does too, TV and film. And I remember watching it, and I remember flying through it because there's only 8 episodes of season 1. They only 30 minutes. So I sat down in one sitting and watched the whole season and was thinking like, hold on, where the other disc? I'm like, oh, there's only 8 episodes now. So I went on Amazon and literally had ordered every single, not at once. I would order season 2. That would come. I will watch all of season 2, then order the next season. Like I was churning through them. And I think I got caught up. By the time I was actually there, I think season 7 was on the air. So I wasn't even an original Entourage person. I knew about the show. I heard about the show, but I just never got into it. But when I did, it just had everything that I loved. First and foremost, y'all know how I feel about movies and TV. What better show than to get a behind-the-scenes look of how this stuff is put together? Like the ins and outs, the inner workings of Hollywood. How one thing on Culture Guard we talk about a lot is who almost played this role. Who almost directed this film? It kind of is a walking example of that in television form. Obviously, brotherhood, family, that's all big on my plate. I've got the same friends as elementary, a lot of the same crew since college. You know what I mean? Just brothers that I love dearly. And I can see ourselves in these characters, which leads me to my next question. Who do you see? Which character do you see yourself the most in?
Me? Ari.
Yeah. Ari. You 1,000% Ari. You 1,000% Ari. 1,000%.
Man, I'm the friend that you do not want to put on speakerphone. I'm that guy for real. Say outlandish shit all the fucking time. Politically incorrect shit sometimes. Yeah, I'm completely Ari, man. So
1,000% Ari.
Damn, that's good. I think I'm a mix between Turtle and E. E too much of a lover boy to be me,
Bruh.
but yeah, I said like I'm not that. But some of the other qualities, yeah. And then Turtle just delayed, but yeah, I'm a mix between Turtle and E.
You took the words right out my mouth, Spike. Once again, same brain. I was literally gonna say E minus all that lover boy shit. Like especially when you watch season 1, and we'll talk about this season here before we start talking about episodes, but just the guy behind the guy. You know, Jay-Z got a lyric, one of my favorite Jay-Z lines is fuck being famous, I came to get the butter. Like I don't care shit about fame. I ain't trying to be uncomfortable where I gotta, have people with me when I go outside. I want to be the man next to the man. You know what I mean? I just want to chill. I want to help him out with his career, still get the same benefits without having to be that famous and have to worry about how I move. I just want enough to have connections. And I think that's what he was. And he was a hustler, not as much as Turtle. I think Turtle had the best storyline from beginning to end of the series.
Easily the best arc.
Absolutely.
Easily.
Yeah. But
Best
E,
arc.
the way E just went about it, he carried it. Like you can tell that Vince trusted him with his decisions. Like I feel like I'm that person. Like, yeah, I'll help you out. I don't really want nothing in return. But also, at the end of the season, you get to a point where you're like, man, hey, we gotta. What's up? What's the word? We gotta put something on pay. I want to make this shit official. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I definitely would say E for me, and Turtle too. Early Turtle, not so much, but you can even tell from this season, Turtle was a hustler. Like the shit he would pull off, like the setting the going away party and then collecting the bread, like all that shit. He was a hustler. So I got to give it up to Turtle. Let me ask you another question. I got a few more. Or two more, actually. Retroactively. Would you prefer the show how it is, where you follow Vince, E, and the boys? Or would you want the show where you follow Ari and his clients? And then Vince and E are part of that, but not the main focus. Ari would be your main focus, and you get a day in the life or the day-to-day workings of what it's like to be Ari Gold. What would be more interesting? How we got it now, or if you flipped it and made it solely about Ari?
See, I think the beauty of Ari is it wasn't focused on him. Yeah. So every time that he did come, it was like a whirlwind. I'm saying the most outrageous. I'm doing the most so that's hard to say. 30 minutes of that, I'm not sure if it would have hit the same way. So I like it as standing, and just because it would have been dealing with so many different clients, and some of them probably would have been lame, and that would have took away from Ari. Yeah, I would like it as is, because I think that's what Ari like. He like a closer, like good baseball team. Like what Mariano
Rivera.
Yeah, that's Ari.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that if it was to be centered around Ari, I don't think it would have been as enjoyable. There's things I would have liked to see, like maybe a episode every season where you kind of like followed Ari. I would have liked that. I would like that. You know what I'm saying? But a whole season, I don't know. I don't know if I could do that.
You know what? And y'all made a good point just now, because I always say, I talked about it about House of the Dragons. I talked about it when we discussed Bad Boys. Just the power of being able to get your audience to invest in characters. Like if you can invest in the characters, if you get your audience to invest, then you can really do whatever you want for however long you want to, right? And that can be good or bad. That's why they're still making Bad Boys. That's why they make a million Fast and the Furious. Like they're invested in the characters, not the characters, excuse me, not the plot. And I think you can't really. It's hard for everybody to see themselves in Ari, but you can find yourself in one of the four. You can be a turtle.
Max.
You can be a drama. You know what I mean? And you can find more friends. You only know a couple people in your life that's like Ari. And if you do know those people, they can be a lot. Chaz is my brother. I love Chaz, man. We done live together, though. I done seen Chaz on that other side, on that orange shit. I'm like, yo, come on, my nigga. Turn that shit off.
That's funny.
Like one of Chaz, I still say this line to the day, man. You know when you're taking it too far and everybody know it, and you be like, hey man, like Chaz's favorite line. I don't give a fuck if you in the mood. I don't give a fuck if you in the mood. Like all types of shit. So I've been around that, and to y'all point, it might be a lot. I will say one last thing before we start talking about maybe favorite quotes and celebrity appearances. I would love to see if they, they're in the business of remaking things. If they were to remake this show again, I would love to see it as a drama. No pun intended.
I was thinking, I would love to see it with black people. Like this white boy vibe is cool, but I would love to see it updated now with like a black squad.
So here's what we're gonna do.
Here's
what we're gonna do.
Like
one of these weeks. Here's what we're gonna do. One of these weeks. One of these weeks before we finish this out, we're gonna have a moment where we're gonna recast this.
Swap it out.
With black people. We're gonna have to discuss whether or not we're doing current day or if we're going back to 04 and see who was hot in 04 that could have done it.
Facts.
But yeah, I'm definitely down to have that combo.
As I was watching this, I was like, this shit, of course, brought back all type of memories. But I was like, man, if these dudes was black, this would have been even more like relatable, like because just the simple nuances that we pick up on as black people that other black people experiencing. So that would be my biggest thing.
No doubt,
definitely,
no doubt.
It's kind of crazy that they haven't tried something like this already.
Yeah,
though. Like it's been 20 years. So
what isn't Survivor's Remorse?
Survivor's Remorse is similar. It's very similar.
I think wasn't that supposed to be that?
I think
that's what they were going for. I
think that's what they were trying to do with Survivor. Not in greatness, but just in characteristics. Just characteristics.
Even there's a big Entourage imprint on Ballers.
I never watched that.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I can see Ballers a little more than the I can see that just
Ballers got more. Entourage fingerprints all over.
Yeah.
In a whole different lane, and they both HBO. It makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense. But yeah, I think I get what you're saying though, Bug. But I think in their head, the Stars version of Entourage, I think they were trying to make Survivor's Remorse.
1,000,000%.
You know what I mean? So let me ask y'all this. So I wrote down one of the categories we're gonna have season by season is favorite celebrity appearance. Season 1, this was the opener. Very light season compared to all the rest of them. I feel like this is a standalone season. And then I think you have seasons 2 through season 6, and then you have 7 and 8. I think those are the phases. And you might even be able to chop it up even before, because there's a certain level, I think, once you hit season 3. Like if you can put 2 and 3 together. Because that's Vince is now, he's on the rise in season 1, and then seasons 2 and 3, he becomes a superstar.
Yeah,
and then you can categorize it however you want to after that. But starting with season 1, not as many guest appearances. Not a lot of people knew what the show was. So shout out to everybody who did come on because they were part of the first wave. It got to a point once you got to season 4 and 5, everybody was calling into the show wanting to get on because it was like a badge of honor. Yep. It was like I was on Entourage. I had a cameo on Entourage. That was the thing, and you had to be around. If you weren't around, you really don't know. What's up?
I was just gonna say real quick observation as you were saying that it's surprising that none of these characters actually, other than Turtle, branched off to do other stuff. I always thought that I would see Vince and other shit or drama or even E, but I ain't really seen none of these actors in anything else. That was one of the biggest things that stuck out to me as I was rewatching this.
So it's funny, all right. So as far as this cast getting together, Kevin Connolly, who plays E, he retired from acting. He was already retired. He was a director. Like Kevin Connolly was a kid actor. He was on some show. I can't remember the name of it. If anybody's seen the updated, the 90s version of Beverly Hill or the Beverly Hillbillies, he was in that movie.
What sitcom he was on? I think it was called Happily Ever After.
I think that was it. I think that was it.
Him and Nikki Cox. Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Connolly Kevin Connolly. For those who don't know,
on that. Yeah.
And for those who don't know, Kevin Connolly connected like in Hollywood. Like he hangs out. His crew is Leo DiCaprio, Tobey Maguire. Like they kick it. Like that was talking about the pilot episode. Yeah, like they talk about in the pilot episode of this season. When they're talking about going to New York or going to Vegas, like Fat Cat got us a jet. Like when they were filming that, Leo and Toby was hitting him up like, yo, we got the jet to Vegas. Like once you finish filming, come meet us out there. Like we'll send the jet your way. So it was, they kind of made the comparison like, yo, this was his real life, but you wouldn't know it because He Kevin Conley. He keep it on the low, but they had to talk him into getting or taking the role, and they didn't offer it to him. They said you had to audition, and he was like, "Listen, man, I'm past that point in my life where I'm about to audition and get told no." And they was like, "Listen, we all think you the person for it. We can't just offer it to you. You got to audition." But it ended up working out because they needed that, like, kind of, small, as they call it, Jack Terry or Russell type of character.
With that backstory, he did an even better job. He did an even better job now that you tell me that backstory.
Yeah, he was directing. He was like, man,
he come off as an everyday dude.
Yeah, and then when you talk about Adrian Grenade, who plays Vince, they say he was really like that character. Like, he didn't watch TV. He was out the loop. Like, just kind of like they had to talk him into taking that role. And I think the biggest thing everybody probably knows him from is Drive Me Crazy, which ironically, Ali Larder was in that. And she was kind of doing the same shit she was doing in the pilot episode, chasing him around. And then he was in Devil Wears Prada. He was Anne Hathaway's boyfriend in Devil Wears Prada. And then Kevin Connolly, or Kevin Dillon. Yeah. And then Kevin Dillon, he just Kevin Dillon. Now, that is somebody I thought would have done a little bit more. And then Jeremy Piven had his run with the goods before he caught a weird case and shit. But, yeah.
I didn't know he was
got a weird case.
Damn, I didn't know
he
was
he got, it was the Me Too movement, man. Me Too movement got him up out of here. Me Too movement got him up out of here.
Based on Ari's how good was it the Ari character, you can see that.
They said that it's a I can't think of the agent's name, but they said he based off a real agent in Hollywood.
Ari
Emanuel, okay.
Owner of the WWE.
Yeah.
Oh, his brother is. But no, he was that was Chance the Rapper's manager, agent or some shit like that. He was the reason the Chance blew up. His brother like the mayor of Chicago or some shit like that.
Oh, yeah, he was. Yeah. I think he might have been on Obama's staff for real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If I'm making all this up, man, forgive me. But
No,
I'm pretty sure all that's
I think you're right. I think you're right.
All right, so I'm going to name some names of guests of celebrities and celebrities who played themselves, not like Val Kilmer playing the Sherpa, just celebrities who actually played themselves. I just want to hear what y'all think was the best one, some of y'all favorites of the season. So episode 1, we have Ali Larter and Mark Wahlberg. Episode 2, we have Jessica Alba. Episode 3, Jimmy Kimmel, Sarah Foster, Sarah Silverman, and Luke Wilson. Episode 6, we have Gary Busey. In episode 8, we have Larry David and Scarlett Johansson. Any favorites or a particular favorite that you had from this season of celebrity appearances?
For me, it's gonna be Gary Busey, but that's kind of biased because I know his future in his. He really didn't get in his bag. Yeah, he didn't get in his bag in this episode. But as soon as I seen it, I remembered everything else. I was like, okay.
So who was supposed to do that?
Who was that?
You know who was supposed to do that Gary Busey role? Who they really wanted? Dan Aykroyd. And they couldn't get it to work out. So they got Gary Busey. Gary Busey said, I'll do it, but I ain't reading none of these words on your script. Everything I do is going to be ad-libs.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
That's why he's my favorite.
That's why, yeah. I got to go Gary Busey, and I got to go Larry David.
Same. Those are my two. Larry David's probably one for me.
Because I'm surprised they even got him to do it.
Straight up. He probably thought he was in an episode of Curb.
Curb, exactly. That's what
he probably thought he was in an episode of Curb. That's the only reason they got him to get there.
I actually agree. I actually agree with you guys. I thought it was kind of funny just watching his interaction with Drama. Like, is it Johnny Drama? Oh shit. Let me get the fuck up out of here. Let me hurry up and get the fuck up out of here, man.
Hey, man, that's just Johnny Drama's luck because I love how Ari even looked at him. Hey, don't ever interrupt me in front of a real client again, like a real client. That shit hilarious. Right. Then Adam Davies show up. Like, nigga, if you showed up 30 seconds earlier, I could have avoided all this shit, man. I'm always looking like a poo-put. But yeah, man. So those are some of the celebrity appearances. I have favorite quotes written down. I don't know if you guys want to go through them or you just want to talk through them as you go through the episodes.
I got a couple.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Spike. We'll start with you. Spike.
I just thought this was funny. He said, "E, the movie's huge, bro." He says, "Relax." Joanne says it's destined to be a classic. Oh, Joanne says it's a class destined to be a classic. She's destined to be a fucking insane asylum. Don't really hit without the context of the show, and knowing who Joanne is and what she did. But I thought that was funny as hell. And then the Johnny drama, if you play gay or they said retarded, and you can't even say that no more. But if you play gay or retarded to get an Oscar, I take it in the ass for an Oscar. You take it in the ass for a guest spot on the Hughleys.
Show's not even on the air. Y'all know what that when Johnny Drama went through that, y'all know what that reminded me of, right?
What's it?
Tropic Thunder.
Your man had to paint blackface on.
Dude, just playing the dude.
When he told Ben Stiller, "Don't never go fool. Don't never go fool, man. Like, you can't do it." Yeah, man. They say a lot of. I should have said this at the beginning. Show came out 2004. They say a lot of things that we don't say anymore.
Can't say no more.
If we happen to say something, I promise you it's a direct quote. It's not us speaking it.
Yeah.
I promise it's a direct quote. So just, we're all adults. We know we're not supposed to say these words anymore, but that's kind of what it was. And we don't want to keep filtering ourselves throughout this process. No disrespect.
Turtle dropped a couple F-bombs. I was like, oh shit, boy, you can't even.
Yeah, he dropped a few of them. Yeah, they ain't. Listen, we ain't even got to Lloyd. Come on.
Arguably one of the best characters in the show. Him and Artie, we'll get that. But
yeah, the shit he was saying to Lloyd, man, you can't. They would kick you out the room if you try to pitch an idea like that.
Man. I mean,
you got any more quotes or Boog? You got any quotes?
Yeah, I got a couple. Interaction between Turtle and E. Look who's talking, Mr. Beg for pussy on prom night. I was begging my girlfriend Turtle, not a $40 hooker who declined my mother's credit card. I just started like, yeah, that's real ignorant that y'all motherfuckers go at it like that. What it was, he quit cigarettes, not pussy. That's my favorite.
That's my favorite bar. That might be my favorite bar of the entire series.
Yeah, it might be.
Of the entire show, that might be my favorite line, especially in context when you watch it. The delivery of it, the way Drama says that shit, like that nigga about to get some cheeks.
Right.
Niggas will do whatever, nigga. He probably ain't smoked a cigarette in weeks. As soon as she's offered, hell yeah, I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. Shit.
I always for whatever reason, I always like the interaction between E and Ari, and how Ari would always disrespect him, and he would always threatening to whoop his ass, you know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of always wanted them to just fucking fight, like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all just gotta swap it out. And I understand, I completely understand where Ari was coming from in disrespecting E, because this motherfucker was he meant well, but he completely was trying he meant well, but he was completely fucking up his boy's career.
Yeah,
he was just doing shit that I'm like, man, what the fuck? Like,
you in the minor leagues, this is a major league.
Yeah, bro. Man, like you're not ready for this shit, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, and he would call him like Pizza Boy, or you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just and fuck with him. And that shit was funny to me, man. I always got to kick it with it. I always got to kick out of him, calling him, hey, let's hug it out, you little bitch. Like, yo, no, man, you ain't just gonna be calling me a bitch all like that, man.
Yeah, that's how they get down, man. That's how they
get down. It is, man.
I have that in my notes too. We'll talk about it, but I 1,000% understand Ari and his frustration, because you got to be fucking kidding me. Y'all playing.
Right.
Y'all playing with me.
Right.
I got a couple quotes. I have some more that I'll talk about in certain episodes, but some that I wrote down. Just random shit. Drama, episode 1. I fucked like a puma. Like, cause who says that? Who says that? I fucked like a puma.
Dead ass serious too. Like, that's a real life quote. That's what made Drama character so good, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, because he was dead. He delivered
dead
it.
Ass serious. Yeah, like
I fucked like a puma. Yeah. All right. Could you get Ian Turtle? Could you get laid without Vince? That's the question. Do I give a fuck? That's the answer.
That's the answer.
Hey, I literally have that one too. I forgot about that.
Another classic Drama line, and I forget which episode it was. It was when the healthy girl, when the script in the Sherpa episode, Vince said she was only staying a couple. Turtle said Vince said she's only staying a couple nights, a couples too. Drama said not in Utah. There was a moment when E was telling Turtle, when they was meeting with Billy Walsh, E told Turtle and Drama to wait by the pool, and Turtle said, "Don't talk to us like we're adopted, bro." And I got two more. E and Turtle, once again. This coming from a guy who thought Gotti Light was a good idea 4 years ago. We listen to you, we all be working for some fucking loser on the soap. Drama says, "Hey, I'm up for a soap. Sorry, Drama." And then Ari with one of the bars of the season. Everybody thinks that having a bomb will kill your career. No. You know what kills your career? Passing on a hit, which is a common theme throughout. Ari knew exactly what he was talking about. He said similar things. That's why you book your next gig before this one comes out. Like Ari knew the game, which is why it was so frustrating for E. But that's just some of the few that I have. We're going to start talking about honorable mentions. But before we do, I'm going to give a season by season rundown of Vince's career. So just so everybody's clear on where we are, Vince started Head On. It premiered this season. We see him accept the offer for Queens Boulevard, and he's leaving to go film it. He also passed on Matterhorn. So as far as his film career goes, that's what took place for him in season 1. We're going to go through honorable mention, just some episodes that we briefly discuss. Everybody has their own individual list, and then we will get into our actual rankings, whether you have top 4, top 5, and we'll take it from there. The beauty of this is, depending on what you like out of the show, your list might be different. I'm very curious to see what everyone's rankings are. If there's an episode that I might have number 2, that y'all might have an honorable mention, all the whole 9. That's part of the fun of this whole best episode ever thing. So Chaz, let's go ahead and start with you, my brother. Let's share your honorable mention episodes.
My honorable mention, I only got one honorable mention.
Okay, you rank the rest of them.
The script in the Sherpa. The Sherpa.
Oh, that's an honorable mention for you.
Listen, because I took 4 episodes, and I was going back and forth between the script and the Sherpa and the very first episode, as far as in my first ones, because the very first episode, the reason why I have it on there is because it's it kind of gave you like a little background to the fellas and why, like, you could see various different things. You could see like you could start, that was the beginning to seeing that Vince is codependent on E like a motherfucker. Yeah. And then I'm thinking myself, like, this guy reads your scripts. As the season goes on, he reads your scripts, and like, bruh, what the fuck do you do besides fuck bitches? And that motherfucker, like, really, that was his job. My job is to fuck bitches, and y'all here because of me, so y'all do what the fuck I say, and everything's gonna be good. And that was cool and everything, but like, hey, I can't say about how E was a dumbass, but then I would have Talk Show, because that had my favorite quote in it.
That's an honorable mention as well.
No, that is my list. Talk Show is on my list.
Oh, no. We're not. We gonna go on. We're gonna do like 4.
I only have one. Build up to one actual. I only actually
you only have one honorable mention.
Yes, it was that, and then
just honorable mentions right now. We'll do the list. We'll do the rankings. So Spike, what did you have for honorable mention?
So the list was 4, and then honorable mention was however many other ones you want to just.
However many you want, whatever else you were considering in your top 4. You didn't have to put every episode or discuss every episode. Just whatever didn't make the cut of your top 4.
All right, for me, honorable mention also was the script and the Sherpa. And also the honorable mention for me was Talk Show and Date Night. Well, excuse me, no, not Talk Show, but Date Night. I thought that was a really funny concept, how they just crash date or whatever, and it just showed like the camaraderie of the boys and how they really got down. So that was one that was an honorable mention for me, but it didn't make my list.
I got you. I'll just talk to you about the 4 that didn't make my top 4. I had Date Night as well. Drama, dating a bully, the whole concept, just everything about that episode was just silly.
It's hilarious.
Just wasn't enough to make my top 4 overall. Talk Show, like Boog said, favorite possible favorite line of the series. Great concept. You kind of want to know what it's like to be in a green room and in that environment. Just didn't do enough for me overall, even though it did make complete sense that Drama and Kimmel was running buddies and they had a falling out and all this other stuff. The script and the Sherpa, enjoyable episode. Having a weed drought in LA just sounds crazy. It just sounds
impossible in 2024. Looking for weed in LA.
Yeah. Also, what I really liked about that episode was we meet Josh Weinstein for the first time, and that's the introduction to Queens Boulevard. Like Queen Boulevard enters the realm and the orbit, and Josh is putting it on thick, like Dog and Ari talking about good job on passing on Matterhorn. You could tell he could be a budding agent because he knew how to sell it. Mm-hmm. We talk about shout out to Junior Soprano. He knew how to sell it. So just him, Val Kilmer for being dressed up as the Sherpa. Wacky Quest, them niggas pulling out the guns when that cell phone went out. It was super random. I didn't like the girl. I think that was a good concept too. Like what happens when you a tight knit crew? Like the type of crew we all grown now, and that's one thing about Entourage. Like it kind of it takes you back to those days, like Spike said earlier, when you were outside and you were with the crew all the time, and y'all know what it's like to have a girl come through. Y'all ain't like man, we gotta get her up out of here, man. It's whatever the case may be. So that whole thing was realistic. And what else did I say? Oh, y'all gonna be surprised at this. Nah, never mind. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Y'all gonna be surprised at this. New York is an honorable mention for me. It didn't crack my top 4.
Oh,
geez.
It didn't crack my top 4.
Oh,
I think y'all. I'm gonna have a different list than y'all. I think I know that. I knew that going in.
Oh,
I think I knew that going in. So I can't wait to hear y'all descriptions about that episode and the stuff that I left off. Because another thing that's cool about best episode ever, depending on the conversation, y'all might say something that convinces me, like, you know what, I'm bugging. I need to move this up or move this down, whatever the case may be. So I might have some real time swapping out. But Chaz, I think you already started. So what was your number 4?
Number 4 was the first episode.
Okay,
that was my number 4. For just for background purposes, give you the intro to everything, and to let you so you can see the beginning dynamics of each relationship. Number 3.
No, not 3. Hold on, we're gonna go to Spike number 4.
Oh, okay. I thought my bad.
Yeah, you good. It's all good, man. It's all good. Yeah, you ready. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Spike, man, what's your number 4?
Number 4 for me is the aforementioned New York. I think it was a great way to wrap up the season. You could tell it was still a new show getting its footing, but it did set the tone for the endings and kind of like the plane coming back or stopping for E. I think that's a tone throughout the series, even all the way up to the movies. Like you get those kind of plays on this actual scene, this actual episode. So New York for me is number 4.
Yeah, for me personally, it just didn't. I enjoyed it. And I'll tell you one thing I'm a big fan of with shows. I like when shows reward you for watching all the episodes, because if you're a fan of Entourage, that scene on the Clearport, that has a payoff in season 5.
Yeah,
it has a payoff in season 5. It's revisited, and that they go all the way back to season 1 and kind of had that conversation again. I enjoyed it. You saw I love the brother relationship between Johnny and Vince and that moment they had when Johnny told him, like, nah, man, you the asshole. You the one that fucked up, bro. You ain't easy. Like somebody that you like that has to be around you 24/7 that you can tolerate and the whole 9. Like, I'm not going to do it. Like, you don't find too many E's.
Mm-hmm.
E looking at him on the same thing. Like, bro, you asked me to move out here. I was cool. I was the only one that was still in New York because I wanted to make it on my own. You asked me to come out. I'm the one helping you. And now you playing with me. Like, would y'all let Vince if he had y'all in the car waiting? First of all, I ain't waiting.
It wouldn't even been no way. Yeah, like past the 5 minutes, it would have been a wrap.
Damn, past 5 minutes?
Yeah, bro.
Because you told me 5 minutes. You could have told me 15.
You could have said, bro, come swing back and pick me up, or I'm gonna be a little long. She might, you know what I mean? If you tell me 5 minutes, I'm running in and running out. Minute 6, I'm on your line. Like, bro, what's up? If you don't answer and you got me out here just in the wind, bro, I'm out. You vents, find a way, my nigga.
I'm about to say, and just like it happened in the show, right? Nigga, you a movie star. Nigga, you'll be on this street for 30 seconds before some thirsty chick come and pull over. You done hit half the city. Somebody gonna scoop you up. You gonna be all right.
I done done that before.
Absolutely. But I would have gave him more than 5 minutes.
Well, okay, hey, nigga, when I ask you how long it's gonna be, then tell me 15.
Yeah, give me the real answer on how long.
Yeah, give me the real answer, because you know it ain't gonna be 5. And because he even told him, he said it's never 5 minutes with this girl. Like he knew the game. Like, bro, come on, man, stop playing with me.
He should have just left at 5 minutes. Then he shouldn't even waited as long as he did. If he knew it,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
45 minutes. That's not happening.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't have did.
Why you up there getting your rocks off, bro? Yeah. Come on, man, stop.
I'm in the car, like, I ain't no. Yeah, we can't do that.
Yeah, and no disrespect to Turtle, but that's a Turtle thing. Have Turtle drive you around and do that shit.
Yeah, that ain't my job.
Bro. I'm putting your movies together. Nah, I ain't on it. Thanks. So I feel you on that. But I just like that part of events, and then, like I said, that conversation was real because are you willing to fuck up our friendship? It's that whole idea of mixing business and family, business and friends. Like it ain't the same, man. And I love what Vince said, man. I can't fire my best friend, but my manager is replaceable.
Yeah.
So you got to know what it is if you're going to go down this path. And like I said, they just set up the journey going into season 2, because once you get past season 1, which is the intro, them finding their footing, like season 2, they really find their groove. And you start getting some peak television throughout the series and what you know this series for. So, okay, that's your number 4. My number 4, once again, probably a little bit lower than what some of y'all have it. Busey and the Beach. Busey and the Beach is number 4 for me. I don't know if this is just I've seen this series countless times. Chaz, you said it earlier. You kind of know what Busey's character, how he kind of incorporated in the show. He's not like a major character or even a recurring character, but you see him more than once. And you see his character. For me, Vince had the big opening weekend. He found this Queens Boulevard offer. He wants to go ahead and make it. You had the whole Busey art show, which was odd in its own self. Busey's just a weird dude. I'd expect that type of shit in Hollywood. It's weird people doing weird things. And Josh Weinstein, he got the Malibu party come over to the crib. And then you get Ari pulling up. Once he finds out that his clients is over there, I'm talking to Josh Weinstein. Josh Weinstein said, "You trying to kill Queens Boulevard?" Like, now I'm pulling up and I'm getting my Ari Gold on. I'm showing you why I'm Big Mike and you ain't, why I'm Ari Gold and you ain't. Bruh, I went to school to do that on this house. Do he know you using it?
He do now.
Like, I helped him cheat.
He do now. I
have to cheat on his e-com exam.
Nigga owe me.
You know what else I took? Business ethics. I don't steal other people's other motherfuckers' clients, but I'm gonna make an exception for you. Like, he's had a quote, man. He said, You're gonna be representing sideshow freaks. You need JoJo the dog face bitch boy. Call Josh Winefuck the lightweight pen stealing fuck face. Like, who says shit like that, man?
Hey man, he played his role so fucking well.
Hey, so well, man, so well.
Jeez.
Yeah, but most importantly, outside of that, it was just that trust that he actually built. Because Ari's not a part of the crew, but as you continue to watch the show, he really does become one of them. Yeah. And this was one of the first moments where Ari wasn't an agent. He treated it like he was one of their friends. Like, look, I know how this works. You on the cusp of stardom. You're gonna be an idiot if you do Queens Boulevard, bro. You need a big time movie. Like, you need some studio shit, some backing, the whole 9. However, I fuck with you that one way. If this is what you want to do, I'll go ahead and set the deal for you. But as an agent, as somebody who works for you, something that he's gonna need to understand, I can't have you do Queens Boulevard, bro. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And then he finally opens up. All right, cool. Y'all want to do it? I'll set it up. I just think that opened up that whole new portion of their relationship. I had to put it in my top 4, but it is not in my top 3, which I know a lot of people have it 1 or 2 of this season. So, Chaz, we're going to go to you. What is your number 3 pick?
My number 3 is New York.
Okay.
My number 3 is New York. Especially the scene between I love the scene between Ari and E when he goes in there and he's talking to him about the about trying to represent him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, let's hug it out, man. We gotta get, you know what I'm saying, you want to give this shit up and you're gonna get some new representation for your boy. That's great, man. Yeah." And then he's like, nah, that's not it. And he's like, "Oh, well, shit. Well, you asking for advice?" And then he, you know what I'm saying, he gives him the rundown, and it's like, you would think at that point that, you know what I'm saying, like this whole season, he never gets that he's in over his head.
Mm.
And he never, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you see during this season, like, bruh, I told my guy to give up $4 million so he can make a movie and make 60,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, what
bad
in the
business.
blue fuck? Like, what in the
Horrible
blue fuck?
offense right there.
Man, listen.
Nigga, what? Man,
That whole concept is just beyond me.
Right.
Like, it's mind blowing. You know what I'm saying? Like, every time I watch this series, like any episode I see, I'm looking at E and I'm thinking to myself, he's a fucking idiot.
Like $3.4 million.
Yeah, man. One of my favorite parts of that scene that you were just talking about, Chaz, is when he said, you know, I want to talk about, you know, I talk about management. He said, "Oh, you stepping to the side like you said," but then he was like, "No, I'm talking about me." And that nigga said, "I thought you were his manager."
That's what you've been doing the whole time.
Because trust me, like if you ain't his manager, bro, we really need to talk. I'm about to whoop your ass. Like, ain't no way I'm taking all this shit from you and you ain't his official manager.
Hey, that was
Man,
good.
what?
That was definitely good.
That look on his face like, "Hey, man, like, stop playing with me." Like, I know you ain't about to sit here and tell me you ain't Vince's manager, because I swear on everything, I'll ban you from this building.
Man.
That's
so shit, man. Yeah, that's a good one, man. Spike, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Busey and the Beach. You went over it earlier with yours, Rich, so I ain't got to get too much in it. The thing I took from it is alluding to that scene that you talked about with Ari, like famous quote, I think from Pusha T or somebody's like, "Niggas know how to play gangster until real gangsters walk in the room." And this is what we talking about with Eric Weinstein, is it?
Josh Weinstein.
Like, yeah, you look like a good agent. All that shit sound good until a big dog get off the porch like Ari. And now I'm in here showing you how this shit really go. So I love the scene where he walking through the beach house and he just calling him out, just setting the tone for what Ari is going to be for the next 6 seasons. So that's one of the main reasons that I took this one for number 3.
Yeah, that was the first real version of Ari that we come to know and love. Like, Ari was pretty timid up until then, but that one was like, "Nah, bro, I'll shut your whole shit down."
Yeah.
What Cat Williams say? The shit do look like a phantom until a phantom pulls up. Until the phantom pulls up, my nigga. Like, that's exactly what it is. All right. My number 3. My number 3 is the review.
Oh, okay.
Man, I told you my list. I love the review because one of the biggest reasons I love this show is being a film lover. I love the ins and outs of the shit. What happens when an up-and-coming star does get a bad review and shit don't go as planned? What does that look like? How does his team take care of him? How does his team try to shield him? It reminds you that Vince isn't the super duper star, especially if you watch this series over and over. He's not that yet. There is no Aquaman offer. There is no Martin Scorsese giving you a call. Like, nah, bro, you either gonna be Leo DiCaprio or you're gonna be Josh Hartnett. Like, you still in that range. Your career is at a fork in the road. It can go either way. It can go either way. You can be that A-list or you can be that, "Hey, I remember when you had your run for 5 to 10 years."
Facts.
So it's just one of those things, like, you really, and it goes to your point, Chaz. Another reason why he needed a foot in his ass, because you at a very fragile point in your man's career. Like, that's why I already told him, passing on a hit is what's gonna kill you. Like, that's what's gonna fuck you up. So you can't be going that route. Ari even reminded him in this episode. Vincent E went to go to his office and he said, "Man, when's our next movie?" Ari said, "I got you your next movie. Matterhorn.
Yeah.
You passed on it." Like, what are we talking about, man? He said the guy doesn't want to make money. He's a communist.
Or a socialist.
Yeah, or a socialist. And he told E, like, he was like, "Man, where'd you learn that pepper on you?" He's like, "No, I just got a degree from Harvard and the JDA from Michigan." Once again, to the point Spike made earlier, I know what I'm doing. Look at my credentials. I've been doing this for 15 years. Stay out of my way and let me help this man reach the stardom that you would never be able to take him to. Like ever. Like stay out of your man's way. If you really love him, if he's really your brother, like you say, then you would really move to the side and you would find something else to do to help him. Because I'm telling you, like we can take this man to a whole nother level. Obviously, the "Let's hug it out, bitch." That's a classic Entourage line. And then even the fact that whole scene of E, Vince, and Ari in the office, him telling E to stand back and say, "Where your bedside manner, dummy? Like, why are you bringing up bad reviews to this man? Like, he's a superstar." That's one thing they say about like talented, famous people or like attractive people. Like they're very vulnerable. Like they're very fragile. You say one wrong thing and their whole day can be fucked up because they're not used to that type of shit.
You hear criticism enough.
Yeah, they don't hear criticism enough to really be able to take that like me and you. Like Ari had a line where he said, "Man, I got more phone calls about this thing than I did when my mother died." Like everybody's calling me about this fucking review, man. What the fuck is going on? Keep his mind off of things. You also they bought the Rolls Royce. You meet Marvin, the accountant, who's Beansy from The Sopranos. You find him this episode. He's one of my favorite recurring character. I love there was a moment when they was in the Rolls Royce and them girls pull up and Johnny Drama put his head out and the girl said, "You look familiar." That nigga Turtle said, "You watch Cinemax at 5 a.m.?" And then obviously you had Jessica Alba's party. Just that is what, like I said, if you watch it for the reasons I do, your love of film and what goes on behind the scenes, and also just the camaraderie and the brotherhood. Bro, this is what we dreamed of, man. We weren't supposed to make it. We out here at Jessica Alba's crib with all these bad women.
Free reign.
Like free reign. Like we out here living it. Like let's enjoy this shit. We ain't got to answer to nobody. We out here kicking it. I love this episode for that reason. That's why it's my number 3. Chaz, we back to you, man. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is I probably shouldn't have put it this way, but I kind of had it as a tie between the scene in the show and the talk show episodes.
What did you have? Which episodes were they?
The scene,
the talk show. You had them both at number 2. That's cool. It's only your number 1 going anyway. Did you have a number 1?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
Busey and the Beach. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said it.
Hey, we gonna get you together by season 2. We gonna get you together by season 2.
Yeah, no, the scene, just because, like, it was real funny to me how he had this man like really like on pins and needles about this shit. Like, but he did test and see, like, yo, are you really gonna be committed to making this movie with me and trust in me to know that we, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna create a classic. And I don't know if every director is like that, but I do know that some directors do ask a lot from their talent, and they, you know what I'm saying, as far as trusting them. And it was good to see, like, you know what? Hey, if my man is saying that this is what needs to happen and this scene got to be in it, fuck it, I'm with him. And I'm still thinking to myself, even watching this shit, you let your man blow a $4 million check to possibly get a blowjob by a guy in a fucking scene of a movie. Hey, you can't make this shit up.
When you put it like that, it's crazy.
Insane.
It's crazy as fuck, man.
Insane.
Yeah, when you put it like that, it's the same.
Fireable offenses, man.
Right.
So,
oh, man.
And when you put it like that, it makes more sense at the end episode where Vince is like, I mean, is you really ready to do this, bro? Like, you get that leeway when you my homeboy. Blowing the $4 million bag. Now I'm doing a movie and this potential a dude giving me a blowjob in a script. You my homeboy, we might, very heavy emphasis on might be able to look over that. But if I hire you to do this and you getting paid, nah, bro, you gotta go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's one.
Like if him being his man,
that's insubordination. Yeah, that's insubordination, bro. You just go back to being a part of the crew, homeboy. Yeah,
that is insubordination, man. What you doing? You sabotaging.
Yeah, you do.
Sabotaging my career, man.
It's detrimental to everything we got going on, bro.
What made you have talk show tied with that as well?
Talk show I just like the dynamic of seeing a little more into drama's past. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, man, I used to run with Jimmy Kimmel, and And you know what I'm saying? He was really upset about that shit. Like, yeah, man, he abandoned me and shit like that, knowing that damn well, you know damn well, motherfucker, you had no phone, you had no, you know what I'm saying, no way to contact you, no nothing. You knew you was fucked up, nigga. Like, yeah, why you act like it was him? But you know what I'm saying, at the same time, you know, I liked it. I liked the that they you know what I'm saying, that line. He was like, yeah, he quit pussy. I mean, well, he's like, he quit cigarettes, not pussy. Yeah,
cigarettes, not pussy. Yeah, one of the best.
That's
one of the
my
best
favorite
lines ever.
shit. Yeah.
Also, going back to, well, I'll talk about it when I get there. All right, cool. So that's your number 2. What you got, Spike, for number 2?
Number 2 for me is Talk Show. Talk Show was good. I'm a drama fan, so it was dope how that played out with him and Jimmy Kimmel inviting him out there. It was one of those episodes that was just fun. It wasn't necessarily all about Vince, even though he had his moments, of course. But again, being a Johnny drama fan, how it played out for him, I always like when he get his little shine because he takes so much shit on here. And Jimmy Kimmel was good, man.
Jimmy Kimmel was good. That was a great job,
bro.
Yeah, that was a good episode, man. Talk Show number 2. My number 2, once again, gonna be a shock to a lot of people. Entourage. Pilot episode. Pilot episode is my number 2. We talk about a lot on the Culture Garden when we discuss films. We talk about opening scenes, and we just like when we get dropped in the world and kind of understand exactly who everybody is. It wasn't necessarily a first scene thing, but this being the first episode, it gave me that same feeling. It was a perfect way to keep me invested, and it had, as you watch Entourage and you rewatch it and you learn these characters and you learn the moves, it gave me everything that I love about the show. You know everything about the characters, the friendship, even from that opening scene. Those 2 girls walk past the table. Hey Vince, hey E, hey Turtle, and Drama just sitting there looking dumb. No, what's up to him? Like, so you just kind of see he always gonna be the butt of the jokes, kind of the one that doesn't fit. You get the whole dynamic of how long they've been friends. So it's not like some Hollywood type of thing. It's not some rap crew that the label put together. Like, nah, we've been down since forever. Like, I thought they beautifully tied in the fact that they were going to their high school reunion to let you know, like, bro, this is how long we've been down. Like, we ain't just no randoms. Like, Vince trusts these dudes with his life. Ari is going to be Ari. Vince and E, you find out right away that they have a different relationship than the others. Like, them 2 are definitely best friends. And then it's a crew as a whole, but you can tell they have a whole different relationship. I mentioned Turtle's story arc. There's a moment in the kitchen where they talking about the script, and Johnny says it in a dead serious manner. Hey, E, you see any parts from me? And that nigga E just looked at him and then looked away and went right back to the conversation. I'm sorry, that's one of the funniest things I can ever be a part of. Like, I love when a nigga asks a question, you just look at him and then just talk about whatever you're talking about. Like, that's how goofy your question was. Once again, just showing you Drama getting the butt of the jokes. We get the whole pizza boy thing. I said it before. I want to say it right now. I'm talking about the scene when they go to Koi. Ari takes E to Koi. I would have hated E if I was Ari. I would have hated that nigga. He told him, I don't do this. I don't eat here with people like you. Like, bro, you beneath me. What the fuck are you doing? And Chaz, to your point, he wasn't fazed by none of this. Like, Hollywood's a weird place. They call it Holly weird. It's based on connections and a lot of stuff. E didn't give a fuck about none of that, bro. Like, and you had to know that about E first episode. Like, I promise you ever talk to me like that again, I promise you I'll smack that grin off your face. Like, bro, don't play with me like that. Like, oh, you gonna go straight on me? Like, this Saki sucks. Get the fuck out my face.
Hey, that was a great exchange. It showed you both, it drew the line for both of them as to what worlds they were from. Like, neither one of them was backing down, but both of them respected what the other one said too, to not push it any further.
Yep, the codependency that you talked about, Chaz, that happened the first episode when E was like, I'm not going to Vegas. He's like, I'm not going either. Like, just that quick, just because E wasn't going, he decided he ain't going. I'm probably gonna vote a reunion too. Now I'm still gonna go. I'd rather go if you ain't there. Just that codependency, like you see everything that you needed to know about these characters, they introduce you to in the pilot. And I think what really does it for me is because it made me want to see what E does with Vince's career. Because we know he told him to pass on Matterhorn, and the very end of the episode, Ari calls and say, "Hey man, tell Vince that Colin Farrell took Matterhorn." And it was that kind of like, damn, like, did I make the right decision? Do I got the right guy got in my career? Because it's not necessarily about the film or the script. It's about Colin Farrell is a reputable actor. He's a star. What did he see in this film that me and my team couldn't see that he immediately agreed to take it? And he getting the 4 M's on top of that. Like, damn, I hope you know what you... And Vince said, I hope you know what you're doing, Pizza Good Boy. And there was a great moment when Drama, after they say Colin Farrell got it, Drama just kind of looks off and said, he's good. He's good. Like, nigga, like, what we doing? And that's kind of how I felt as a viewer. I felt like I was part of the crew. And it's like, man, all right, E, what's up? What you got? Because it'd be different if Joe Blow took Matterhorn or they couldn't get it. Like, Colin Farrell, that's he a bigger star than you, Vince. Like, what's going on?
What he see that I didn't.
Yeah, exactly. So I loved everything. I love the fact that we got everything we needed about all of these characters in one episode, and it happened to be the first episode, and it carries us throughout this entire series. So I had to put it at number 2.
Well, one of the things that I like, he said that kind of like just let me know right then and there that like, yeah, man, he might be just hell bent on fucking your shit up. He says if they're gonna give you $4 million for this, then they'll give you $4 million for something you love. Like, wait, you have no idea that they're gonna do that shit.
Like, and that's highly unlikely.
Right? Highly unlikely, like, what? They don't get $4 million for passion projects, motherfucker. What are you talking about? Like,
listen, I tell people all the time. We've talked about this. Every star has bad movies. They got their studio money grabs. You can tell. That's another thing about Entourage. You can start looking at real people and start telling which ones did they do for them, which ones did they do for their agent, which ones did they do for the money grab. Because when you look at somebody like Denzel already had his first Oscar with Glory, but then you turn around in 1991, you see him do a movie called Ricochet. Like, he was already past that, but Ricochet probably dropped a bag on him for the studio. If anybody's ever seen Ricochet, Ricochet's not good. But it's Denzel, and he said, "Shit, I'll do a studio movie back."
Yeah, he's
shit silly, man. What's his name? John Lovitz, John Lithgow.
Yeah.
He was in it with them and stuff like that. Yeah, so go through everybody's career, you can kind of see the Vince arc. That's just kind of how it works, bro. Like, you got to do the ones that you don't want to do, so where you can reach a point, and then you just get offers. Like, they send a script to me, like they wrote this with me in mind, like all types of stuff. So it's a hard industry to crack in, and that's what he didn't know. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Chaz, you already talked about your number 1. If you want to go into it a little bit more deeper, UC and the Beach.
That I just kind of got to bounce off what you guys were saying. I just like the fact that Ari came in there. Now I'm Big Stepper now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't have even went down this path, but since you went down this path, I'm gonna give you the humbling that you need. You know what I'm saying? And that's essentially what he did. And you know, you see Josh Wyden's name throughout the series. You know what I'm saying? He just keeps popping in and out. You know what I'm saying? But every time, you know what I'm saying, he gets brought back to reality. You know what I'm saying? But when you're brutally honest with your client, who is, I think at this point in time, Ari is starting to look at him sort of like a friend. And he's telling him, like, yo, man, this is the height of stupidity to do what the fuck you're doing. Yeah. Like, I cannot stress this enough. But if you want to do this shit, I mean, fuck it. I'm with you. But you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You if you want to succeed in this, you're gonna have to do some shit that's gonna make some money. You know?
Yeah. To your point, Chaz, I was just gonna say, to your point, if either one of y'all were Vince, and I was in a position to help y'all, like, there's no way I'm telling you to pass on that shit. Like, I don't care what it is. I don't care what kind of dog shit it is, bro. Go make this movie, bro. Take this 4 M's, and we're gonna build from there.
We'll figure it out from there. Yep.
Hey, listen, on some personal shit. Just, I remember having a conversation with you, Rich, and I said, "Hey, bro, you'll tell me when it's time, right?" And he said, "Yeah, I got you, bro." So I'm showing a picture I'm looking at a picture on Facebook, and he was like, "Hey, Boog, remember when you asked
me if it's time? Yeah, it's time, my nigga.
It's time, my nigga." I said, "Hey," and there it went.
I ain't gonna let you go out bad.
You need somebody that's always going to tell you the truth if you need to hear the truth. Ari was that guy for him. Like, hey, at that point, like, hey, this is the height of stupidity, my guy.
The dumbest shit you can do as a man in your position. Man, think about it. Think about it. When Shauna was talking about the scene, and she said, "Listen, Vince is on the verge of like being a sex symbol. Like I'm hearing he about to get jacked off by some dude in the subway train. Like what the fuck is going on? Or what are y'all doing over there? Like y'all, what are y'all doing with this man's career?
What kind of shop y'all running over there?
Yeah, hey, man, you turned it down $4 million. Marvin even pointed it out. Remember when he went to go see Marvin? He said, "Oh, but you got the balls to tell him to pass on a $4 million movie." Nigga said Drama was ordering $2,500 worth of supplements each month. What the fuck was Drama taking?
Hey, that money with that,
what
that
the
meeting
fuck?
with the accountant was hilarious.
The
he
fuck
said
was
Turtle
he
got
taking,
a 15. Turtle got a $50 phone bill. He can get an unlimited plan for $200. What is y'all doing?
That's funny.
But nah, Chad, that's a great point. You're absolutely right. Height of stupidity. That's part of the reason why I pointed that scene out, man, because that's the moment we become friends. I'm like, listen, man, me doing my job, and he told him, don't expect the truth from me all the time, because I got to do my job. I got to make sure you eat.
Yeah,
I've seen it, and we've all seen it. We've seen the dudes that was on the come up, and then all of a sudden it's like, damn, what happened to them?
Yep,
man.
Oh, good point.
Not everybody makes it. Spike, what's your number one movie? Number one movie. What's your number one episode for season 1? Which one's going to the finale?
Number one is the scene, man. Billy motherfucking Walsh, man.
I'll say it right now. I'll say it right now. Since you're starting it, we can have the joint conversation. I got it as number one as well. The scene is number one for me.
It like
I understand.
Billy Walsh for me is one of those love-hate characters. Like he's an abstract genius, but you got to deal with the abstractness to get to the genius. Like you don't know if the shit gonna work. It sounds crazy as hell what you're trying to do. Even the whole play that he put in here where it wasn't even a real scene, but I'm planting the seed way beforehand by telling you to watch out for E and what he might be on, calling him a soup. Like I planted that seed way beforehand because I knew I was finna do this. And it just ended up being, you got to trust me, Vince, and just the whole way that he played it. I'm not a fan of the deception, but the method of it, but the outcome, I fuck with. It was a great way to get to the outcome. Billy Walsh is one of my most hated characters in this whole thing, even when he pops back up. But this is the height of Entourage right here.
Yeah, Billy Walsh is one of the best recurring characters in all TV series, in my opinion. Like if you had a recurring character rankings, Billy Walsh is up there. There's never a dull moment. Maybe when they, obviously sobered him up, which sounds crazy, it sounds bad, but for the sake of what Billy Walsh as, he was a lot less tame. But even then, he was enjoyable when he was making Johnny's Bananas and all that. Like, he was still an enjoyable character. But I love Billy Walsh, like you said, hate him at the same time. I can't wait until we talk about season 4. And like him directing Medellin and getting a new movie and them being the Dream Team, that Dream Team episode, E and Billy getting into it. Everything that you see in future episodes, it was playing it right here. Right and Billy do not get along. And Spike, you mentioned something that I think needs to be taken into account, especially when you get into Hollywood or any kind of the arts. When you start talking about people who are artistic geniuses, and I've said this before, man, because I know, shout out to my brother Nate. Chaz knows Nate. Nate is an artistic genius, God-given, self-taught, just talent, something you can't teach. Like my man's is just out of the world with it. Nate is my brother. I know Nate very well. That genius side, you got to deal with that opposite side, and the opposite side, it just frustrates you because it's like, bro, like what? Are you so smart on this side that you lacking on this side? And no disrespect to Nate, but he knows what I'm talking about. He just does goofy stuff. Like I remember one time. He always forgetting your keys at home, always forgetting your wallet. Like you knew we was coming out of town. Like why you leave your wallet at home? Like just why you don't check for stuff like that? But you're so good at the other stuff. I can't explain it, but it's always something you got to deal with. And Billy Walsh is one of those people. Drama getting that extra cash from the Pacific Blue residuals. I just thought that was funny. Him and Turtle, like Turtle trying his hardest. How you gonna spend my money on sex workers? Like trying to convince me of all this shit. And then Billy Walsh,
and even the opposite of it, of how tight Drama was trying to be with it. Like if it was Vince money at any other time, you would have been cool with it. Now you got to check, It's like, oh no, I don't do that no more. Nigga, get out of my face.
I'll spend money on pussy. You already said.
Yeah, I've been a 50 rubbing tugs with you. What you talking about?
He said, I don't buy pussy no more.
Shit.
Since when?
Since yesterday, nigga. Come on, bro. Now you got money,
man.
you don't buy pussy.
The intro to Billy Walsh, just that whole hotel room, people all over the place, people doing everything. You got a naked chick on the balcony taking pictures. You got people arguing. You on the couch, we didn't even see you. And then Billy tells him, like, you guys are early. And he says, no, actually, we're on time. And that nigga looked at him and said, that would actually mean something to me if I knew who the fuck you were. Like, so just off rip. Just off rip, the energy between Billy and E was off rip right there. We talked about E scoffing at him, like, because there was Billy doesn't want to do the whole studio thing. He wants to stay in the independent lane. And he scoffs at E for being a suit. E scoffing at Billy for not being from Queens. Like, oh, you grew up with Scarsdale, but your pops owns some shit in Kew Garden. Like, bro, you ain't even really from here. So you have that contention, the changes to the script, like you said, and then the foreshadowing that Spike mentioned. Don't let the suit influence you. I'm not a suit. Hey, man, yeah, you are. Just that foreshadowing right there. Like, you are a suit. You just don't know it yet. And that was perfect for E because that's exactly what ended up happening to him. Yeah. Like I said, the guy blowing you on page 28, E and Kristen. That was a Hughley's line episode. Walsh. Them just because at some point I'd have been like, hey, man, this scene don't make no sense. The scene don't make no sense. Like, why the fuck are we doing this? I'd have liked to think that I picked up on it, but I definitely ain't telling Vince to go ahead and do it. Yeah. And then also the foreshadowing about Sundance. Because there's a moment when we know Billy won Sundance, so youngest director ever won Sundance, and somebody asked Ari, did you see his movie? He said, you think I'm going to stand in the snow in Utah in a fucking beanie? And then that's a foreshadowing of something we get in season 2. So all of it, man. The scene is just definitely my favorite scene, my favorite episode from season 1. That's the one that I'm taking with me to the finale. So just as a quick recap. Also, real quick, while it's on my mind, 2 things that I wanted to mention behind the scenes stuff. We talked about the scene that famously came from Good Will Hunting. When Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were trying to pitch that film and get studios to read it, the way they would know if a studio actually read their script is because they put a scene of them characters like blowing one another or something like that. It was so outfield and out of range of what the movie was that it wouldn't have made sense. So when they talked to the studios and they said, oh yeah, we love the script, they knew like, oh, you ain't even read it. Because you would have said something about this scene because it doesn't make any sense. So that came from Good Will Hunting and them. And then also, just another fun fact, Jerry Ferrara, who plays Turtle, to your number 1 episode book, Busey and the Beach. He said Kevin Connolly, who plays E, was literally scared of Gary Busey. Because Gary Busey, he said Gary Busey a big dude. Like Gary Busey held Kevin Connolly down and was tickling him and tried to make him pee his pants. He called it tickle piss or something like that. And Jerry Ferrara was like, listen, man, listen.
Hey, white people different, man.
Listen. The same thing made. That's what Jerry said. Jerry said this. His words were, it was the most bizarre thing I'd ever seen in my life. And Kevin Connolly is like, bro, I'm 30 years old. Why the fuck is you tickling me? But you see Gary Busey's character, I feel like he was playing himself. He just did that, like, I'm about to pin you down and tickle you on set. I'm going to tickle you so hard you pee your pants.
That's why I want to see a black version of this, because it's going to be a lot more physical altercations than it is than we see in this world. Like, it's a whole lot of whatever, man. In the black world of this, it's like, come on, man, we're going to go outside, bro. Like, this is going to happen.
Straight up. It's got to, man. So just a quick recap of the episodes that are going to the finale. Chaz is going to be taking Busey in the Beach. That'll be moving on to the finale. When we get there, Spike and myself will be taking The Scene. So those are 2 episodes that we will be discussing as a whole. Before we get out of here, I meant to ask you at the beginning, did either one of you come into it thinking, like, I think I know what my favorite episode of Entourage is?
I did not. It had been so long. Well, I don't know. I think I revisited when the pandemic first started, which that's a long time ago now. But it didn't seem like that long ago. But I couldn't remember what my favorite episode was, so I was excited to hop back into this and go through them. As I was reading, you know, the breakdown of how we were going to do the show, it did make me think about it and pay more attention as I was watching it. But no, I didn't have a solid understanding of what I thought my favorite show would be.
What about you, Bud?
No, I didn't. I I have like probably a solid 10 episodes like from the series. Like, oh, these are my top 10 episodes, but actual favorite one, no. So this is gonna be an interesting journey.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm excited to see because I don't know either. Like you said, I have some standalone episodes. There are episodes where I know that I was like, let me watch this episode or this episode out of sequence. But as a whole, I don't know which one's going to take the crown. And that's going to be interesting. Like I said, this is going to heat up because season 1 is their intro. As much as I enjoyed the season, we ain't even got there when it comes to some of like the character dynamics and some of the events that take place. Got a lot of good episodes left that we can discuss. I think season 2, season 3, season 5 are probably my favorite seasons. You can sprinkle in 6 in there. But there's a lot to enjoy. Like it's I feel like it turns into a different show starting with season 2. Like they know who they are and they really start taking advantage of that. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to having these conversations. We will continue this next week. So right now we got season 1 in the can. We'll be back next week. And since there are more than 8 episodes, we'll bring our top 5 to the table. So we'll have our honorable mentions, then our top 5. Chaz, we will go in order. 5, you know what I mean? 4, yeah. Just to make sure you know. All right. But yeah, that's about it. So hopefully everybody out there enjoyed it. Got Entourage season 1 in the can, best episode ever. We'll be back next week to discuss episode 2. In the meantime, please check out We Got Y'all for House of the Dragon Conversations. Shout out to Ray P. The information is going to be on our episode description in the link tree. Also, shout out to Spike Lou and all the things he's working on. I will put that information in the episode description as well if you want to get more content. Boog, you're going to be on some things. I know we got some things for you in the tuck when it comes to Culture Garden, so I'm looking forward to getting that off the ground. But in the meantime, please remember to subscribe. We appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all, good brothers, for joining me. I'm looking forward to this journey, and we'll see y'all next week. Y'all be cool. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.